Hello guys, this is P. Joshika. I'm here to discuss about the topic managerial skills are more better with experience rather than the classroom learning. As said, the only source of the knowledge is in experience. If we know that we could learn many books, we could learn many things in our classroom. Yeah, it is the basics. But what we have to do, we have to have a pragmatic approach towards it, which is really important in our day-to-day life. So, experiences are more far better than the bookish learning what we do in the classrooms is what I believe.
And I completely agree with my friend because the knowledge which we learn from the books need to be learned and executed. As I said, as we all know that when we do something, when we learn from that particular experience, we'll be able to learn our pros and cons in that particular field or the particular situation or the particular thing which we have done. And that is important. Experience is a great master and an excellent servant which can help us in our day-to-day lives.
In my point of view, the thing which we learn in school are more theoretical than in our real life experiences. For example, if we take the famous personalities in the business tycoons, Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, they have gone to classroom to learn lessons. They have learned those lessons and they have implemented in their business. So it became an highlight. So learning is the first thing, and also implementing and the experience will come the next thing.
Yes, I agree with my friend's statement that experience gives the direction in which if you apply your managerial skills, you will get the maximum output. So experience starts coming when you start a work. So you must start a work using your managerial skills, taking some assumptions, you will get the maximum output. Sometimes you didn't get the maximum output if you apply your managerial skills. That time you came to know about the situations where your assumptions gone wrong, and you have to overcome those assumptions and correct them. So by experience we have to know and suggest to from the experienced guys and develop our own experience.
Coming to me, what is managerial skills? Some of the examples of managerial skills learnt in the classroom are communication and conflict resolution, and the different point of views of every teammates, and the strategy planning and decision making are learnt in the classroom. This is a crucial roles that played by the teammates and the students learnt in the classroom, and that some of the managerial skills learnt by the experience. From the example, that there is a manager of the project, and he manages all the works about the team, and he has the well immersed and has a deep understanding about the concept, and he can communicate with the teammates in efficient way rather than he has more understanding about the topic. So he can have the efficient way to communicate with the teammates about the topic, and he can also solve their problems and the conflict resolution of the every teammates about themselves, and it is helpful for the every teammate by their experience. And the manager has all the qualities that are theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge, and the manager came into force by the theoretical knowledge and apply them into the practical knowledge. It will help more to better way to improve the product or improve the project ideas.
As my friend said that managing skills which totally depends upon the learning in classrooms, so which totally refers to the theoretical knowledge, and the managerial skills which we learn from the experience, it totally depends upon the practical skills. So many people who are studying in schools, colleges, etc. have been handling so many situations which does not involves a practical skills, just theoretical, which does not help in future, because one must should learn theoretical plus practical, then they can succeed in their life. Because when we implement practical knowledge, then only we can achieve our goals. So that it is important to learn.
Hello guys, I am happy to share my thoughts with you. To improve managerial skills, both classroom learning and experiences both are crucial. In my opinion, classroom learning is only halfway done to improve managerial skills. The other part is when we try to apply these classroom skills in real life, generally in the first attempt we get failed. So this experience generally teaches us that part.
Well, going to the history of the education, the main source of education is the temples and churches, and at that time only them provided the education to the people. But the education is totally about religious and etc. But after the humanists have encouraged included many subjects that taught us some more subjects like math, etc. etc. At 18th century, I think, at the time of industrial revolution, there is a need for workers who work with knowledge. At that time, they provided much education to the workers, and they included them into the industrial revolution. That made more profit. And as coming to the experience, craftsmen have much experience while crafting their handicrafts, etc. They taught the people from their experience, and the people who gained that experience and learned from their experience, and now what we are having that crafts and etc.
So yeah, I agree with my friend Harshit's point. We should learn both practical and experience from knowledge. From the practical knowledge, we can in the classrooms taught, we will learn some failures, and then we can success when we can apply success in the practical life, and we can improve our skills through it. So yeah, I agree with my point.
As we are discussing like top-notch people like Dhirubhai Ambani and all, it is said that Lakshmi Mittal, one of the 6th richest person in the world, is said to have the commerce degree rather than a B school, a top B school MBA degree. Yeah, we gain a theoretical knowledge from our B schools or management schools and all. But what about this? Is something like he's the 6th richest person, which means he gained that position from his experience rather than that certificate from the B school. So I believe the experiences plays an important role rather than what we only learn in the theory.
In my point of view, as Harshit said, I want to give a clarity with a good example so that everyone can understand. There are many Bollywood stars and Tollywood stars. Like in previous stars, we have Sir Rajinikanth, Chiranjeevi. They all they haven't gone to any acting school, and all they didn't learn. Through experience, they have sharpened their skills so that they developed. But nowadays, everyone was going to these type of classes, and then they are sharpening themselves. In that way, experience helps people to sharpen themselves and improve their skills.
As it's a part, experience plays a vital role in our lives. When we do that, when we learn from something on experience, we'll be definitely being successful. As my friend Joshka and my friend Prahashni have said about some of the prominent examples in our daily life which we have seen. And also, experience is one of the most crucial things that we get. The knowledge we gain from our books is too theoretical, and sometimes it's hard to implement. But when we have experience, then it is much easier to apply and work on them and get our outputs.
So again, in my opinion, gaining theoretical knowledge will help you to explain properly what you have learned. But practicing what you have learned will help you perform better what you have learned, and it will help you to work efficiently. For example, if you want to learn swimming, just reading a book of how to learn swimming and attending a number of swimming classes will not help you how to swim. But at the same time, if you are swimming regularly, practicing swimming and knowing difficulties of swimming, practicing it, it will make you properly swim. So experiences are more efficient.
I support the statement of Harshit that in a classroom we learn about the theoretical knowledge and how to apply theoretical knowledge in the practical knowledge in real environment, and we learn different difficulties faced when we apply our theoretical knowledge in the practical knowledge. That difficulties helps us to improve our managerial skills and to improve our technical skills, which that is like leadership qualities and conflict resolution about the team members. And in such a way, first when we apply our theoretical knowledge into practical experience, we will face many difficulties first time it is a failure, but we will learn many difficulties we faced when we are applying that theoretical knowledge. Then we will become that one day we will become success.
Considering me as example, day before yesterday we all faced internal C lab, but I have theoretical knowledge about C, but I didn't have any practical knowledge about how to run programs or etc. But I faced a difficulty in running a program. I have theoretical knowledge. I know what to do and how to type a code, but I didn't get the logic because I don't have experience. This states that the experience and theoretical knowledge both are needed for any program to run.
In my point of view, the managerial skills learnt in the classroom are the basics. Without the theoretical knowledge, we can't handle the situations. So we have to learn the managerial skills learnt in the classroom and apply those in the daily life.
As my friends Prashini and Joshika has mentioned about the Bollywood stars and the famous personalities, I want to mention one of the name which is DR.N.SATYANARAYANA, who is a successful person in India and also in the world. So he does not have any formal education in his childhood, but now he is a big celebrity and big successful human being in his life. So experience and practice makes man perfect.
As said, Harshit, he gave an example about swimming. That reminds me of an example. Like, there is a person who is really good at grasping knowledge and everything. He every time reads a book and immediately he could remember all the contents of the book. Yeah, he could write the exams and he top exams immediately, right? It is really good from the theoretical knowledge. But one day he thought about a swimming class, and so he watched many videos about how to swim and all. Then there is one day he went to the swimming pool and then he tried to swim. He drowned in it, which means he need an experience, not only the theoretical part, but also he need an experience in order to do what the real life experience is, so that he could use in everyday life. Not only watching the videos and reading the book and getting full marks is not important. What we learn, how we extract, and what we use it in our everyday life is very important.
Yes, I agree with my friend Joshika's point. We should have both practical and theoretical knowledge. If we have only theoretical knowledge, we cannot succeed. We should have to implement it in our life so that we can learn from our failures and get succeeded. So we will not learn from experience, we will learn from the reflections of experience.
As my friend said, nowadays I'm happy to share that nowadays schools and colleges are also encouraging the practical things. Like in our middle school, in our intermediate, we have gone through some chemistry lab, physics lab. Not only learning it theoretically, but implementing it practically helped us a lot by knowing more about those chemicals and all.
As I would like to elaborate what my friend said, just like now in the schools of India, they have started to implement the practical knowledge and the experiences thing. It is also being a new scheme for that students should learn and experience what they are learning. For example, let us take in our child, how often we have gone to our science labs and did experiments using those chemicals. How often did we use those spring balances? Did we even know what is a spring balance back then? Because we were not encouraged to have that experience. People should know and learn that experience is a master and also a very best servant that helps a person to gain and succeed himself when he was what he will do in his day-to-day life. So now the Indian education system has learned that, and they are implementing in the schools especially in government schools. The students, they have much better labs or any other, like even when it comes to the sports things or anything, they are having much better equipment to compare to private schools, because the schools, the school systems, the government school systems has realized that experience will make learn shine better.
As my friends told that Dhirubhai Ambani and Mukesh Ambani, or Dhirubhai Ambani and Lakshmi Mittal, they are not achieved their formal education, but they grown up by their experience and practical knowledge. but their sons or the children are now learning their skills in the top of the top schools, and they know the value of the theoretical knowledge and both the practical knowledge. So the children are joined in the top schools of the India, and both are necessary. Both the theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge is necessary for a one person to achieve anything and to become success.
I completely agree with what Prabhas has said. Like the day before yesterday, we faced C-Lab, and what I felt is most of us are having theoretical knowledge, but when it is coming to practicals, only few of them are able to practice it properly. It is not that they are superhumans that creates this difference, but it's because of their practice. It's creating this difference. So what we are discussing today is the difference. It is like a debate between classroom learning and experience, but what we are forgetting is both are interlinked. We can't experience in real life and we can't practice it in real life if we are not having classroom learning. So both are interdependent. We have to need a strong classroom learning, only then we can experience. So if you ask me, those who have much work experience will generally have much awareness of a particular machine than any engineer, because the engineer will have theoretical knowledge about that machine, but a person who has worked on that machine for many years will have much knowledge.
Yes, I agree with Harshit's statement that after graduation, as we all know, that we will have to start a new career. It will be our first job and it will be our first experience. We have to face a lot of problems. At the time, we realize that experience is more important compared with the managerial skills learned in the classroom.
Even during the job interviews time, the company try to hire the people who have more experience rather than the fresher. Yeah, fresher is important because we have a basic knowledge about what the programming or something as far as technology have. But they tend to take more people from experienced people, like about 5 years or more experienced people, and to the higher posts and all, because experience is the main cause for that.
While comparing the transport facility that we have long back, that bullock carts, but now we are having cars and etc. While comparing to the pen that we have at long time, and we have a crow tail and feather and ink bottle, we have to dip the ink and we have to write. But now we are having clicking pens, etc. etc. Even a pen upgrades itself after some time. But why not our education system? As our Janin said, we have many practical labs and co-curricular activities, but we are not experiencing them in schools and colleges. As we are studying FAT and BW, but we don't know what are the transistor and semiconductors. We never see them lively. When we ask madam, they said it's not important for you IT people. While coming to FAT, madam said about printers, RAM, ROM, etc. etc. But we didn't even know how it will be and etc. And madam said just leave it and prepare your matter for exam and get good marks.
Yes, it's kind of disappointing to have that kind of what we have going through, because sometimes when we experience things we'll have a better knowledge. Like when we go through some experience, it obviously leaves a mark or a bookmark, or it leaves an, like, you know how we highlight lines in our favorite books. It's something like that. We'll know what will happen if we use that or if we have them in our life. So it's kind of sad to even we don't have a proper encouragement, but when it comes to us, it's our personal responsibility to make the theoretical knowledge what we have learned from those books to come into our life and implement it and get outputs. Let it be whatever output, whether it is a positive one or a negative one, or the one which is favorable for you or it is against you, whatever it is. First, when we experience it, we'll get an output. From that output, it's up to us to improve it better or to continue with it or leave that.
I want to let you all know that, for example, in a company, if there is a manager, he learned how to implement those tactics and how to run his or her company. But in his classroom, he was not taught how to manage his stress, how to manage his pressure and all. A manager is only successful when he manages all these things. It may be theoretically told to him, but not physically, right? So everyone gets experience after learning it, right? So everyone will learn the theoretical knowledge, and we must have the responsibility to implement it, and through this we'll get experience and we can sharpen ourselves.
When we compare our present at the present scenario, we all are joined in this college to get a job after 4 years. So if we placed after 4 years, we will attend interview, and they will ask about theoretical questions and practical questions. Because we are the members of IT, we are so much interested in a core subject which is related to software, coding and programming skills. So if they ask questions about the Viva, we can answer because we know the theory. But if they ask about to run a program which they have given, we cannot able to do it, then it will be not good for us, and they will not accept as a employee, and they will reject us. So when we have an experience, and when we have an practical knowledge, when we have theoretical knowledge, then we can implement and we can overcome the task, and we can be succeed in our life.
By putting experience to practice, we can gain all those things. And also, whatever point my friend Prahashni has said, I would like to agree with them. No, in our theoretical knowledge, we'll be learning about book courses of our core subjects. When we are from the department of IT, we will be learning about software, coding, programming, how the code runs, and all other stuff. But when it comes to our daily life, when it comes to an average teenager life, we'll be facing through a lot of stress, we'll be going through a lot of strain, we'll be draining ourselves, we'll be thinking about how to get good marks in our mids, how to get good marks in semesters, career and all stuff. No one teaches us that, no one tells us that we'll be going through this. But when we experience that, when we make ourselves stronger, when we work on it, we'll become a much better person, and we'll do the work with a double energy, with a double output. So when we experience, like, it's not just about books and stuff, but when also we go through some phases in our life, when we experience them, we'll know how to act up next when those such situations or when that kind of problems come to us.
As my friend Zerin said that when we do a lot of practice, it gives an experience which is whether bad or good, but next time we won't repeat it. If it is a good experience, we will try to improve better. Whether it is a bad experience, we will try to we don't try to do again. So when we have a practice, then we can correct our mistakes so that it will be helpful.
So hence I want to conclude by saying a precious point, like in our history, like in our olden times, we all have listened about the precious books, like holy books called the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran and the Bible, right? So in those precious and the holy books, our ancestors or the gods have taught us the lessons through their experience. Means they have gone through that particular situation, and they are helping us and sorting out how we must behave in that particular type of situation when we have gone through it. So in this way, we have to get the theoretical knowledge and later implement it. So as the famous personality Jason Caesar, she told that experience is the best teacher. So we must have theoretical knowledge and also experience. These both are important for us to implement our skills and help us to succeed. And this is a group discussion.